James, welcome to Chamber Chat. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you, Trent.
Tell us who you are and what organization you represent.
I'm James Topinka. I work with the Regina Flying Club and our Stratus Flight Academy.
The Flight Academy,
Yes.
which we're going to talk about because that's relatively new, correct? So how long have you been with the Flying Club?
Just over 3 years now.
Okay, so because you've been there 3 years, you can give me an elevator pitch. What is the Flying Club?
The Flying Club, well, maybe I'll start with asking you, when you hear Regina Flying Club, what's the first thing you think of?
I think about people getting trained to fly, become pilots.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And that is the core of what we do. 90+% of what we do is training pilots. It was an organization that was developed from World War II efforts to train pilots for the effort and to make sure we had enough people to be able to go and support the Allied forces.
Right.
And so that happened across Canada, and it was a big push, and it developed. And so that was 1927, the Regina Flying Club was born.
Oh, gosh.
Been training pilots in Regina and been the biggest training facility in southern Saskatchewan for that entire time. Now, going forward from that, we've had charter services, we have hangar services, we had a clubhouse, all different things, but really the core of the business and the core of what we want to provide to the community is training the next generation of pilots.
And right now, correct me if I'm wrong, there's a shortage of pilots in Canada.
Absolutely, and right now for sure.
Yeah.
In the future more so, and in the past there has been for the last few years as well, and we've all experienced it when we're waiting on the tarmac or waiting for the flight crew to arrive, or we don't have, there's all different times when there isn't enough pilots to service the needs of what the public is asking for. And so we're really focused on being able to grow and develop and train that group. And one of the things that being a flying club, and why I asked you what comes to your mind first, and you have some experience being involved with being in Regina and the business community and the airport, about what the Flying Club does. There's a lot of people that hear Flying Club and they just think of people with their planes, hanging out, talking about their planes, being a club for people who fly.
Which it is part of that, is it not?
It is absolutely that, and we'll never want to lose that. We are certainly the hub for general aviation in southern Saskatchewan and at the Regina Airport. And we want to be the community within the community, and we are.
Right.
And we'll continue that for sure and support that.
Right. So actually, to get people interested or to give them information on the Flying Club, you tend to do some open houses. I know you do them in the summer. Do you do them throughout the year? Or?
Well, we do a few different things. So there is our one annual open house that we run in the spring to bring in all different aircraft and different aviation-related things and really show as being, again, that gathering place for general aviation and aviation enthusiasts, to come and see everything from the Regina Police Service plane to military aircraft to models to the whole gamut. And so that's a great opportunity for community to come in and see everything. But we are open throughout the year for people to come and see us. We do support classrooms with their grade 6 aviation pieces. We talk and deal with other organizations throughout, and guidance counselors or
so
people.
Outreach programs.
Outreach programs to work with the high schools and bring them into planes and all different.
Brilliant. And that actually probably generates some interest in maybe some people that come and say to you, hey, I want to be a pilot, teach me, kind of thing, right?
Certainly. And that's the thing with the Regina Flying Club. If people are looking for where they train for becoming a pilot, they'll be able to find us. But a lot of folks don't even start the search because they feel that it's out of reach. And that's where we've kind of come up with the idea of the Stratus Flight Academy. And so it's not changing anything that we do as a flying club. It is continuing to train from your recreational to private pilot to full commercial pilot who's multi-engine and instrument rated that can go on towards a career as a commercial pilot. So the bit with the Stratus Flight Academy is being able to be recognized. So there's a lot of people here, Flying Club, think about people in their planes, but realize that they can train here. They don't have to go to Mount Royal in Calgary. They don't have to go out of province or anywhere else. They can stay at home and train as a pilot and become that. And more people that train are more likely to stay in Saskatchewan as well and find out that there's all different commercial levels of piloting that you can do and stay and support your community here.
So I'm just trying to figure this out. The academy allows you to have certification. Is that?
Sorry,
Yeah.
we've had the certification for 100
Okay.
years.
Yeah.
So certainly a very good point
Yeah.
of clarification. So the Flying Academy is a naming recognition. So it's the Stratus Flight Academy
Right.
at the Regina Flying Club.
Gotcha.
So that we are a recognized and authorized post-secondary educational institution. So people can use student loans, people can get their lines of credits. It's authorized and recognized as a post-secondary training to a professional career.
Brilliant. Brilliant. So you talked a bit about it, but maybe take me through the timeline. I'm a young person, I wish.
Yeah, don't we all?
And I want to become a pilot, and I start there. So how do I get to the point where I'm flying the big planes for Air Canada and WestJet?
Certainly.
Yeah, but that can be done through you guys,
It
right?
can be done
Okay.
through us, absolutely. And certainly a lot of people, almost everyone that walks through the door thinks they're going to be flying with Air Canada or WestJet.
Yeah.
And then they might find a different journey along their path and realize how many different forms of commercial aviation there
Fair
are.
enough.
That being said, certainly you can follow your path, and this is a launching pad
Right.
for that. And the very cool thing about becoming a pilot is you can start flying when you're still in high school. So you can get your private pilot license at the age of 17.
Right.
And so if you do some of that training through high school, we're looking at developing some curriculum that's approved with the Ministry of Education
Yeah.
and different pieces. So that's all something that's in the works right now. And they're looking at some programs that have been done in Alberta and other places as well. So we're really excited about that opportunity. But right now, as an individual, you can start your journey training and getting your private license
Yeah.
as early as 17. And
Okay.
that will be from 1 to 2 years to be able to get that license. And then from that, you can go into your commercial training. Generally, and you can have your commercial license, there isn't an age limitation on that
Right.
either, right?
Right.
So what we would see is a lot of people will do it post-graduation. They'll do one to 2 years to their private license and then 1 to 2 years for your commercial. But if you want to do it truncated and be a full-time student all the way through, you can achieve from not to commercially licensed pilot in 2 years.
In 2 years.
In 2 years.
That's actually quite amazing. But part of that is number of hours in the air, is it not?
It absolutely is. And
Okay.
that's one of the really cool things about
Yeah.
being here, based out of YQR and based out of Regina, is we have our prairie skies.
Yeah.
We have this high ceiling. We're not clouded in. We're not Vancouver. We're
Yeah.
not Toronto. We have these broad skies, tons of sunlight hours, tons of availability, and clear flying. And the winds aren't necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know?
Because you learn and
Exactly.
and, yeah,
Yep.
it's interesting. I'm the chair of Tourism Saskatchewan, so we go up north and we do the bush plane flights. And
Right.
We do that every year. Those people are amazing, and that might be one of the things that you were talking about. That a person might end up doing some hours in a bush plane and then decide that's where I'm going to stay.
That's right, Trent.
yeah.
They really will, and because they can find how they have careers that can be incredibly rewarding,
Right.
incredibly interesting, and staying within their province or their roots. One of the other challenges is having those bush plane operators,
Yeah.
having the gateways to the north opened. There's so many places that you can't get to by road.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
You need this.
100%.
And with the shortage of pilots, a lot of those pilots have been getting vacuumed up
Yeah.
and taken and going to the airlines, going to the different operators and things like that. So having that, a lot of pilots would have that as a step
Right.
in their aviation career. So whether they stop there and stay and have a wonderful career, which they can, certainly, but a lot might do their training and then go to those northern operators, a little bit bigger plane, but then they'll move on to a bigger plane yet.
Of course.
And now with the hours not building the same way, they're going up. And so what that means is all of the pilots are going up. So that's instructors, northern operators, other mid-majors are losing them to the majors.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Right?
Yeah.
And so for us to have enough pilots in Saskatchewan, we need to train a lot more pilots in Saskatchewan.
So recruitment is part of what you do, I'm guessing.
It's key.
Yeah.
And again, that feeds back into the recognition and awareness and the viability, so people know that it is an option to
Yeah.
train as a pilot here in Regina.
And one thing I know about the club, as someone who was sat on the airport authorities board, is that you guys are well organized and you have a great relationship with the Regina Regina Airport Authority, do you not? Talk about that.
We do. The Regina Airport Authority is wonderful.
Yeah.
We recognize each other, and we were joking earlier about the symbiosis, right?
Yeah.
But it is something that really connects. We provide a lot of movements, a lot of activity at the airport, a hub for general aviation and other aviation enthusiasts and smaller operators to be able to come, to train, to have the pilots for the service. And we have a wonderful home at the Regina Airport. Yeah.
And there's some good work being done there. I mean, there's investments being done on tarmacs right now, actually, is there not? So you see that, right?
We do. We see that, and we experience it. We benefit from the wonderful new runway and the work that's being done, and the transit service availability, and all the work that the team at the RAA has been doing to make it more viable and a wonderful place for business, for aviators, for everything, to have a community within the community.
Exactly. I like how, and honestly, I see that from your organization. You do, like if the people that watch these chamber chats, they tend to be members of the Regina Chamber of Commerce and District Chamber of Commerce. What would you say to them in terms of knowledge? Can they come down and visit you? What kind of relationship do you want to have with members of the chamber?
Well, as a member of the chamber and have been for a while, and really do enjoy that, I think it's so important for our small businesses and not-for-profits and educational institutions to have that community of business that's looking to bring opportunity and commerce, bring business to Regina. And there's so much opportunity for innovation and new ways of doing things that I invite any conversation, any opportunity of collaboration to be able to do it. Another thing that's pretty cool that is especially for entrepreneurial or other folks bringing folks in from out of province, we talk about our landscape, we talk about our skies. But see it from 1,000 feet up.
Yeah, the best
Not
way to
from
see
20,000,
it.
but from, that 1,000 feet up, you can get a pretty cool view of what Regina looks like, what our general landscape looks like. And we do that as well. We do those small charters or those sightseeing flights where you could take clients up to have a look.
That's so interesting because I had a friend, and we still got a plane, but I haven't been on it for a while, but years ago did a few flights with him, and we went north of Regina, and Last Mountain actually looked like a bit of a mountain. It was a hill, but you could figure out what it was, but you really wouldn't see that when you're on the land and driving a vehicle, right?
You don't see it on the land, you don't see it from the commercial airlines, but when you get up into a little Cessna aircraft, or you have that opportunity to really see what it looks like. And you can capture imagination, right?
Yeah.
And you can capture imagination of what flying's like, but you can capture imagination of the growth potential of Regina and Saskatchewan in general.
So those tours are readily available? Like a person can just call you up or check your website?
Absolutely, yes, both.
Yeah, so and are they popular?
They are. You know, what we find is we get a lot of those flights are people celebrating events.
Oh, cool.
People having opportunities, and sometimes people bringing people, other visitors in, but certainly to celebrate or to go and have a look, or if you're wanting, or if you've never had the feeling of being in the small aircraft, it can light a fire and say, oh, maybe I should do my pilot's license as well.
You talk about the organization and the work you do with a lot of passion, and I appreciate that. Are you a pilot?
I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. Are you going to be one? Or?
I am. I'm training. I'm training absolutely right now, and I think it's really important to be able to understand that. But no, I'm not. I think I might be the first person sitting in the general manager's chair and in that seat that didn't come from a pilot's background. But the club has been very focused in driving business forward and operating to be successful and to be able to grow to support all the needs that we've been talking about earlier today, but really be able to do that. And I come from more of a not-for-profit and business management and marketing side of things.
So let's talk about that. Your background, James, what were you doing prior to this? Or where? You were born here, right?
I was born here. I bounced around a whole lot. People that know me might be tired of it, but I'll share it with everyone, is that I always said that coming from Regina, it was a great place to be from, but coming home, it was a better place to move home to.
Yes, good.
Yeah. So I did have my legs stretched and come from business and marketing and education, but really coming back to it, I find that this is a great fit for where I am. I spent some time with Canadian Blood Services, which interestingly enough is a not-for-profit in a highly regulated federal kind of infrastructure, which aviation is absolutely the same in what Regina Flying Club is as well.
Yeah. So, and you spent some time overseas as well?
I did, yeah. I taught English in Japan for just about 3 years, and
And I like the idea of you now being the one that's driving the business of the Flying Club and the Academy. But you're also going through the process of becoming a pilot. So actually, you'll gain some incredible education through that process.
I truly am, and even just understanding what our students and what our clientele and what the people go through. So to know that and experience and be able to relate, I think, is wonderful. And understanding some of the challenges, some of the pitfalls, and some of the great successes and celebrations, and the exhilaration that comes from flying.
Yeah, no doubt. So paint me a picture. Where is the Flying Club in 5 years?
In 5 years, we will be over 100 years old. So we're really focused.
Centennial coming up,
Centennial coming up in 2027.
Yeah.
And so we have alumnus that from all over the world. It's amazing the number and the breadth of people and professionals that have had their training, from people that run mid-major airlines to top people in Transport Canada to people that train snowbirds to fly to, you know, the breadth, the full kind of gamut of it. And it's pretty amazing and special. So we look to have an opportunity to bring that together. Now in 5 years, we'll be training and building and growing our commercial enterprise and being the Stratus Flight Academy. I think will be well known in Regina and well known especially as a post-secondary educational institution face of the Regina Flying Club.
An opportunity for young people to come by.
An opportunity for people to kind of seize their dreams and experience flight.
So actually, I'll come back to the Centennial, but we talked about young people seizing their dreams. What about old people?
Old people, yeah, absolutely. You know what? We do have a lot of folks that are right from high school or university changing after 1 or 2 years and going, you know what, I want something that's a little bit different challenge. But we also have a lot of folks that, coming out of COVID as well, there were a lot of folks that it was they were able to travel without traveling, so get a private license and learn, or if they've ever had that interest, it's a bucket list item for a lot of people.
So in their 40s, 50s, that kind of thing, right?
Any age, you can do it. Yeah,
You're good to go.
Absolutely.
So I'm interested in, and I'm sure you're working on this because you're a marketing guy, is the 2027 Centennial. Paint me that picture. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Well, that's a lot of work.
No doubt.
I think it will be a lot of fun. Right now it is in those stages of working with committees and working with our board and developing the idea of what it can be and how we can get involved with our chamber members, with the Regina Airport, with our alumnus, with the general aviation community in general, to look at these celebrations. So I think it will be, at the very least, it would be an amazing celebration of what aviation in Regina has been over the last 100 years, with Regina Flying Club at its core.
And you know, that's a good way for us to just kind of wrap it up, is it's an exciting time for the Flying Club and the Academy, right?
Yes,
and you're the right person to lead it. I know that. I've heard lots of great things from all sorts of people, including the Regina Airport Authority. So congratulations on your good work. And thank you for being part of the Chamber Chat. I do appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity too.
All the best, James.
Thank you.
Okay, take care.
Chamber Chats is produced bi-weekly by Skycron as a service to the Regina business community. We produce many series, including the television series Go Nitro for NBC Sports, CBS, and Fox, as well as corporate videos, events, and live streams, all right here in Saskatchewan. We can do the same for you. If you have a video project for your organization, call us at 306-720-0097, and let's get started on your next project.